Now that you've got a show on HBO and then you're the head writer on Saturday Night Live, the amount of material you have to come up with, and then the decision has to be made, what's right for Saturday Night Live and what's right for the Michael Che show.
Well, it's pretty easy now. It's like, well, almost nothing is right for Saturday Night Live that I'm coming up with lately. But
is that true?
It becomes hard to see, like, because at SNL, you kind of have to set up you kind of have to set up everything inside of the sketch. You know, there's something that Dave actually taught me. Chappelle actually taught me this. When he hosted, we were talking about it, and he just kind of said it flippantly, and it just kind of made the world make sense to me. But he was talking about when he did his show, he would set it up in stand-up. He would set up a lot of the sketches in stand-up, and then that way the whole sketch would just be punchlines pretty much.
Right.
And I was like, that's genius. But on SNL, you can't really do that because, you know, it's a variety show, so there is no person that's kind of leading everything. And so it's a lot more tricky.
You went to a pitch meeting at Saturday Night Live and you said, I got a great idea for a sketch. The first black guy to boo Jackie Robinson. And I went, how did they not make that? How did they not allow you to put that on Saturday Night Live? That just sounds funny to me.
Sometimes we actually try to make it, and then the audience is like, what is going on? They think it's almost a trick, you know? So, you know, like, if, you know, it's hard sometimes with, like, with the dress audience, because we go through dress rehearsal and then air. So a lot of times things that we think are super funny don't make it past the dress audience because, you know, the audience is like, I don't know that we should be laughing at this.
The one that didn't get on the air was the idea of the Avengers accidentally kill an unarmed black teenager.
I mean, I think for obvious reasons, there's no way that's going on.
Why? Why not? I don't understand.
Because a lot of times, sometimes that's something that's like racially specific. The audience is kind of looking at Saturday Night Live as Lorne Michaels' show. They're not looking at it as, oh, this is a black writer who is making this nuanced observation or whatever. So it's a little trickier. You know, on my show, I could get away with it because they know it's me, or Dave could get away with it, you know, but like on a mainstream show, a lot of times, even black people are a little bit like, well, why are we doing that there? Like, what do they mean by that? You know, it's a little bit more, what are you making fun of here? We don't really get the benefit of the doubt for something that's that loaded, you know.
You love racial humor. And
I do.
Here's the sketch you wrote that I know you wrote that I thought was so brilliant. Slavery has just ended. And this young black guy walks into a bar in this deep South, and he's like, hey, man, hey, everybody, hey, get me a drink, bartender. Like, he doesn't realize, like, yes, slavery has legally ended, but he doesn't realize that things just aren't perfect yet.
It was called 12 Days Not a Slave.
12 Days Not, yeah. That kind of racial humor to me is where Saturday Night Live now can shine because they have black cast members and black writers. I think the diversity has helped that show so much.
When I first got here, it was just Keenan and Jay were in the cast, but there was no black writers. The interesting thing is sometimes, like if I were to write, or if a black writer was to write something that's specific to black humor, all white staff might not get the joke, so it's deemed not funny, so it doesn't go on air. But the more black people that's in the room, the more black writers, the more black casters in the room, they'll laugh. And then you'll be like, wait, oh, so maybe I'm missing something. And then things that probably wouldn't have gotten the benefit of the doubt then will get it now.
It fuels an energy in the writing session where people go, oh, yeah, now I get it. Now it's funny.
And that's got to do with race, and that's got to do with gender. That's got to do with youth. That's, you know, there's a lot. Having that diversity in the room makes the show more diverse.
The Black Jeopardy sketch where Tom Hanks was the guest host. That sketch in particular, to me, really shows off your writing skills. But I was struck by how well Tom Hanks played the white Trump guy.
There's a part in there where Keenan goes over to shake his hand, and Tom, like, does this thing. Now it's completely Tom.
I appreciate you saying that. I like that. I really do. No,
But like I would have never thought of that. You know, like I think Keenan kind of just thought, you know what, I'm going to shake your hand and go over there, and Tom just literally does this, and it was like it got like one of the biggest laughs of the sketch. But that's just him finding it.
How does it work? You write the sketch for Black Jeopardy. Are you then the guy who stands there on set and produces it?
When you write a sketch, you have to see it through. It wasn't just me. It was Brian Tucker who came up with he came up with the idea for the sketch. But that sketch kind of worked the entire time. It's interesting. Like Black Jeopardy's, for whatever reason, gets people riled up. So like we'll listen to sketches under the bleachers. Like we'll watch them with Lauren for dress rehearsal so we could get notes on it. And every time we do Black Jeopardy, you literally hear people stomping on the under the bleachers because they're so excited for the jokes, which is strange. That's why I say like these jokes can work. You know, like you can still pull them off. They're just very tricky.